Hello students, welcome to your second tutorial. Just a reminder, you've already copied over your pictures, so you need to go here. You're going to open up this second picture. And I also want you to actually reopen that first picture that you cropped. We're going to be using both of those pictures. If you notice up top here, I can toggle or click between the two pictures this way. First thing that's really important to know about Photoshop is about layers. In this little layers palette down here, you right click and duplicate your layer. This way, whatever kind of change you put on top of this layer, you always have the background to go back to. Okay. The first thing I want to show you is a very easy way to make a quick but effective kind of Photoshop-y change to your picture, and that's under Filters and Filter Gallery. It's going to take a minute here to render and come up. And actually it just put that last filter. Sorry, I need to go down to the filter gallery. It already put the change on there that I chose last time. So now what I need to do is I need to zoom out a little bit so I can see my entire picture. I actually have chosen the film grain, but you can choose any number of these. And if you look down here, there are all kinds of different things that you can do to, again, make a quick but very drastic change to your picture. And once you're okay with it, you can also change how intense it is, what the grain looks like, the area, just by moving some levers. So once you feel happy with a particular filter, which you can choose any one you want. I chose film grain. You don't have to for the one that you do. We'll go ahead and watch that apply. And what I want to show you down here in the layers palette is once I turn this eyeball off of the background copy, notice there's my original picture. That's why it's so important not to do all of your effects on top of the background. It's also why there's a little lock on the background, but sometimes it will still allow you to do specific things, certain things on the background. Okay? So with that, I also want to show you how to look at pictures and check out their sizes. So for example, I want to go to Image and Image Size. 72 by 48 inches is a rather large image. Okay, the resolution 72 is pretty average for what we do. Okay, but this physical size down here, and this is the document size, not the pixel size up here, but the document size down here, that's actually quite a large image. Okay, it does not have to be that big. So if I want to make this a little bit more like a 10 by 8 size, or roughly 10 by 6, I can go ahead and make that change. Now it's going to look smaller, but I'm going to show you that we're only looking at it at a percentage. Now if I hit my Control plus button, this is a good shortcut. Now I see this picture at 100%. If you notice, the percentages are moving as I was hitting the Control minus or plus sign. Now when I'm combining two pictures together, I want to check the image size in both. So I'm going to click over to this Dora picture. I want to go to Image and Image Size. And look, if I wanted to combine this picture with the one I just did, this one's going to be huge if I try to put it over top of that picture. It's going to be enormous. So I want to make it roughly about the same. So let me hit 10 here, and it will automatically set the other one as 10 by 10. It's still going to be a little large, but I want to show you what it's going to look like. And resolution is still 72. So you want to make sure the resolutions match up and roughly the sizes match up, or one is a little bit smaller depending on how you're combining the pictures. But it's good to know where to make those changes. And I want you to think of the resolution as kind of like the quality of the picture. Okay, and the size is just the physical size of it, but the resolution is, how good of quality is it. I'm hitting Control plus again so I can see what this looks like at 100%. Okay. Now I want to combine this picture and put it on top of or next to inside this picture. And what I'm going to do then is I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to right click. I'm going to right click down here. I apologize, on the layer. And I'm going to tell it to duplicate layer. But instead of duplicating it right here inside of this same file, I'm going to go over here and say I want it to go over to my second picture. And I click OK. Now watch what happens. I click back over to my other picture, and wow, it's pretty much taken over that whole space. Okay, So at this point, what I need to do is I need to make this picture smaller. Now what I could do is I could go back to that other picture and change the physical size or the resolution, or I can hit Control button, hold it down, and hit T. This is my transform tool. Now look at what happens. My menu changed up here. I want to hit this little lock button so that way when I pull from the corner, this doesn't stretch and make my picture look too wide or too fat. So now I can kind of make this picture smaller, move it up a little bit. And again, does it make sense to combine these two pictures? I don't necessarily think so, but I'm just showing you how you combine two images because it's something that people like to do often. Now notice that there's still this kind of bar around the picture. I simply hit enter once I'm happy with the transform, and I'm ready to go. Now I want to show you also over here, remember I can change how this picture looks or appears, or I can look at different layers just by turning the eyeballs on and off. Also right now I am highlighted on this layer, so when I am using my move tool, which is this first tool over here, only that layer moves. If I want the second layer to move, I must be clicked on that layer so that now this layer moves. And I can decide whether or not I even want that background layer to be visible. Okay. Now let's talk about saving this picture. When you save for your tutorials, I would prefer that you go to File and Save As, and initially I want you to save it as a Photoshop file just as it comes up. This is how it will default, and this will save your layers. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save, and I'm going to show you now. You're going to see a before and an after in your tutorial browsing window here, your browsing in Bridge. So if you look here carefully and see, when I open this picture back up, because it's a Photoshop file, it will keep all my layers intact so that later on I could delete a layer if I wanted to pull it out of here. I can turn the eyeball on and off. I still have choice and selection with my photo. Once I turn this picture into a JPEG, and I'm going to show you what that looks like, and you can only change it by filtering down through here. Just changing the file extension will only ruin your photo, so please do not do that. I'm actually going to call this one like 2A, just so you can see the difference. I don't want to overwrite the other one that I made. Watch what happens. Split second here, the layers. Look, the background is now merged into one layer. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit cancel on that, so that brings me back to my layers there. I didn't actually complete saving that. But a JPEG, while it takes up much less space, will take away your layers. So while you're working throughout the month on things, you may save things as Photoshop files the minute that you add a layer. When you have to convert it to JPEG is at the end of the month when we need to save for space, when you want to email it to somebody to be viewed, when you want to upload it to a website or to a blog. At that point it must be in JPEG format. So JPEG for everybody else, to see it, to view it, to enjoy it, to print it, to love it. PSD for you to continue working on it. Okay, now let's bring this back up, and now you can see if I drag and drop this next to it, I now have my first tutorial shown, a before and an after, and a before and an after. So you've learned how to duplicate your layers, apply a simple filter, turn the eyeballs on and off, check your resolution and size, and combine pictures and save them properly. Good luck! You will do this with one other photo of your own, or rather two other photos because of these two here, in addition to the ones I've given you. Good luck, go to it.